Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, next, please. Hi, I'm Chloe Low from St. Paul's College, teaching chemistry and integrated science. 2 years ago, we formed a science curriculum reform group, and leading by Miss Eileen Yu, Miss Mandy Chan, and three other teachers, including Miss Teresa Kwok, Miss Truvita Wong, and me, worked on the Form 1 and Form 2 IS school-based curriculum. And here shows one of the units which is about force and motion. And we definitely got some insights from the CEL MIT program. Next, please. What you see here is the content page of the booklet. And in the 6 weeks lesson in the Form 2 classes, they have an ultimate mission to construct a simple model car and also a parachute that they can send the vaccine to the small village to save some people, to help the people in need. And we actually break down the task from one lesson to another lessons, and they are meanwhile they are going to design the model car and construct the model car, measure the speed, and also they are going to learn some concept of the effect of force and also friction. Next slide, please. And because from the program, we learned that the students' ownership is very important. And another tools I think it is very useful is about the pill chart. So this pill chart actually teach students how to think systematically and make decisions in a more systematic way. And from the guidelines, they will learn how to make use of the table to name the different criteria and also get some weighting. And then for each criteria, they are going to give points to each options. So this is the work, the students' work, that an actual example to show how to make use of the pill chart to choose the most suitable mask. So this project is supposed to work face-to-face during the lesson, but because of the pandemic, so they work at home. Next, please. So this page shows some of the work of the students. With the limited resources they got at home, they still can construct a simple model car with the balloon, and you see some caps from the bottles. And I really feel amazed by the students' work with the limited resources. And that's all for my part. I'll pass the time to Ms. Flora Wong for the IH part. Thank you.
Thank you, Chloe. Good morning. This is Flora from SPC. I'm going to briefly explain an activity organized in a Form 5 history lesson. The topic is the rise of Hitler and World War II. Next, please. We were in Boston a year ago today. What the most precious I brought back to school is about using the question formulation technique, QFT, that we experienced in the Wright Question Institute on our last day in Boston. In order to facilitate student curiosity and engagement, I try to exchange my role with the students, that they are responsible to generate as many relevant questions as they could. Next, please. Through producing questions by students themselves, they are expected to explain, first of all, the reasons for the rise of Hitler in the 1930s and investigate his role and responsibilities for the outbreak of World War II. Next, please. Students are encouraged to ask questions relating to the mentioned objectives. You can see that 31 students were divided into 6 groups. First of all, each group needed to produce at least about 10 to 12 questions through the discussion. Next, please. Second, they needed to choose and prioritize 3 questions that they thought were the most meaningful, and then compare them with other groups in order to find the similarities and differences in terms of the question types. You could never imagine how exhausted but excited for the participants to think of any relevant questions, as many as they could, and decide which questions were the most meaningful within a short period of time. Next, please. There are some tips for the QFT. First, to monitor adherence to the process, that teacher acting as a facilitator to give clear instructions. Point 2, be the listener and observer. Avoid answering questions or giving examples because it may hinder students' process of question generation. Third, never get pulled into group discussion because teacher involvement would become a direction or a norm that hinder their independent thinking. Lastly, acknowledge all contributions equally in order to tell that every group is equally important, and then they would be eager to contribute more and more. During the reflection, I kept asking myself which principle was the most difficult to follow and why. And I leave it here and will share with you later when we have more time for further discussion. Thank you. Next, please. Thank you very much for CEL for organizing such a wonderful trip for us to learn and then bring back what we learned from teaching.